I'm going to be walking you guys through a functional strength training workout today. So all you're going to need, some light weights. Why does that keep happening? All right, there we go. I apparently can't click the bottom of the screen. All right, cool. I'll just wave at all of you once you get up to the top of the scrolling. All right, so if you don't know, you're going to need cans or light weights in general, and also a chair. So bring all that stuff with you, and we're going to get ready to do the workout. While everyone's still joining, we're going to give it about 2 more minutes. We're just going to do some warm-up exercises. So you can just step back, give yourself some space, and just do some arm circles, some light squats. Hi, everyone who's still just joining us. I'm Jess, if you don't know already. And if you don't know, we're going to use some cans or light weights as our extra added weight today. So anything you have around the house, bottles, cans work. And then also just a chair. I'm going to use a bench, but anything you can step on is totally fine. All right, let me just adjust a little bit. Wow, I really can't touch that. Cool. All right, so let's do some big arm circles just to warm up. We're going to do a full body workout today, so that means we want every part of our body super warm. Not just our legs, not just our arms, we want everything going. So I'm just going to do a few warm-up movements I personally use when I do off-the-wall training or on-the-wall training. You just want to get your whole body moving dynamically. So while everyone's still joining, hi everyone who's just coming in, let's just move around a little bit. Let's do some bodyweight squats. So just make sure with squats, we're sitting back into our hips, not forward into our knees. So let's do about 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, everyone who's still joining us. If you don't know already, just grab some cans, any light weight you have around the house, as well as a chair. Good. Let's do 2 more and 1 more. All right, so let's get started on the actual workout. Hi, everyone who just started joining us. I'm going to be using cans today, as I said. They're a nice, practical, added weight that you can do at home without having to buy dumbbells or find them in this climate because it's really hard. They're sold out everywhere. So I'm just going to use 2 cans. We're going to do squats first. So we're going to do squat superset. I like to start my full bodies off with stuff like that. It's just a big full body movement, really great to get everything going before we start doing anything else. So going to hold our cans up here in the front squat position. So we're going to have our elbows in tight and forward, and we're going to do side step squats. So going to step to the side, squat, step to the side, and squat. We're going to go for 10 of those, all right? So grab your cans, bottles, whatever you have, and let's go in 3, 2, 1. Good. 1, 2. Nice. 3, we're going to go for 10 in total. Get nice and low, but keep the chest up. Breathe out on the way up. Nice. 7, 8, 9, 1 more. On the other side. Good. All right, and then we're going to superset that with some rocket jumps. So they're similar to squat jumps in the sense that we're getting right down low into our squat and we're exploding up, but our hands are going to come in front of us. So it's going to be like this, forward, jump up. So from the side it looks like this, sitting back into my squat again, explode up. So we're going to go for 10 of those. 3, 2, 1, down, explode up. Let's go for 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 more. Good. 10. Take a second. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. Hi, everyone who's just joining us. I'm Jess. I'm a personal trainer and climbing coach over at Brooklyn Boulders in New York. And if you don't know, we're going to do a full body functional strength training workout today. So I've got cans to use as weights. You can use whatever you have around the house. And you're just going to also need a chair. So grab that stuff if you don't have it near you already. And we're going to go into the second set. In 3, 2, 1, pick up those cans and back into it. Side step. Side step. Good. 2. Remember, we're gonna go for 10. Keep those elbows up and keep core tight. 3, 4, breathe out on the way up. 5, 6, 4 more. Get nice and low. 7, keep it really controlled. 8, 9, 1 more. And 10. And right back into those rocket jumps. And 3, 2, hands in the front, explode upwards, sit back into the squat. 1, 2, 3. If you didn't see it before, I'll show you from the side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. How's everyone feeling? We're going to do one more set. Hi, everyone who's just joining us. We started already, but if you missed any of it, this will be saved on the live stream, so you can always go back and watch it when it's done. We're going to do one more set of these squat supersets, so we're going to do side-to-side squats again, and one more set of the rocket jumps back-to-back. How's everyone feeling so far? Hi, everyone who is just joining us. If you don't know, grab some light weights like cans. I'm using cans today. Bottles, if you have light dumbbells, totally use them. That's totally fine. And also a chair. Good? How are our quads feeling? Are they burning? That's what we want. All right. Let's do one more set. Supersets, I like to typically rest a little more to make sure I'm being explosive on every single rep, but mostly between 40 seconds to a minute tops. Usually on most sets, especially at home workouts, I only rest between 20 to 40 seconds, but listen to your body. If you feel like you are not going to be able to give it 100% on the next set without resting a little longer, rest. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and side-to-side squats. 1. Breathe out on the way up. 2, 3, 4. Almost there. 5. Last 5. 6. Good. 7. Breathe out. 8. 9. One more. Good. 10. And then right into those rocket jumps. We want to make sure our quads are still being nice and warm and motivated. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 1. Really explosive. If you didn't see this before, I'm going to show you again from the side. You're sitting back into a squat and exploding upward, touching the ground. Good. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good. All right. Take a second, grab some water. Water is really important. Make sure you're staying hydrated, feeling energized. Good. That's what we want. Especially with the first workout of the session, I like to make it a big full body movement. Make sure everything gets going and start warming up the whole body even more intensely than it already was. All right, hi everyone who's just joining us. I'm Jess. If you missed our first workout, it's totally fine. This will all be saved so you can watch it again afterwards and start from where we're at. Just make sure you're a little bit warm and then grab some cans, light dumbbells if you have them, or water bottles, whatever you have access to, and also a chair. All right. So now that we've rested, we're going to go into another full body movement. Legs, arms, core, everything. All right, so we're going to do a single leg stiff leg deadlift, which means that one leg's going in the air, other one's going up. So the stiff leg deadlift, what you want to watch out for is a curving back and also a super tight knee. You want to keep it nice and soft. So I'll show you from diagonal so you can see. This knee is staying nice and soft on the ground, leaning forward, back up. I'm going to have the hand holding the can on the opposite side for balance. Down, back up, and then we're going to go into a press. So this is what it looks like from the front. Down, back up, and press. So down, up, press. If it feels really hard to do it like that, if you can't get the balance right with the leg up, you can just put more focus on the front leg by keeping the other leg slightly staggered backwards. So we're still going to be leaning on this front leg, but this leg is giving a little bit of support if picking it up is too hard. All right, so we're going to do 8 on each side. So again, it's down, 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 back up, press. So we're going to do 8 that way, and then switch hands and do the other leg. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, lean forward, back into the press. Keep the core really tight during this. You don't want to be just balancing on your ankle. You want to make sure your whole body is engaged. That's why it's a really good movement for adding for climbers. You want whole body engagement and balance, and especially the core. That's where it comes in. If you want to make this harder, make the weight a little higher, so grab something heavier. Gonna go for 8. Stay explosive on the push-up. And also when we're going down, make sure our chest and our head are staying forward and up. All right, let's do 2 more. Forward, 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 up, forward, 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 and up. And then let's switch sides. One side's always gonna be a little bit easier. Having a lot of sun glare today. All right, there we go. All right, so same thing, but other side. So this leg's staying down, this leg's up, and let's lean. Forward, 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 back up, and squeeze. I'll show it from the side again. Forward, 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 up, squeeze. So you want to really feel it in the leg that's planted. Up, keep that core really tight as you go down. Back up. Let's do 4 more. Any variation of stiff leg deadlifts are really good to include in your workout, especially in the leg days, but really a full body day takes a lot of engagement in your whole body, which is really important for climbers, and also a lot of balance, specifically on one leg. And especially because we're not bending forward with our knees, it's really good for climbers to do, because oftentimes when we're pushing or balancing on one leg, we're against a wall, so we can't really do, sometimes pistol squats aren't exactly applicable, because our knees bending, we're kind of in a position we can never really be in on the wall unless we're on a crazy wide volume. We're too close to the wall normally for us to bend that much. So doing a kind of hinging forward, keeping our knees really tight in, but still soft, are really good motions to practice for actually doing them on the wall. If it feels really easy, I'll show you a variation. You can do both at once. So I'm gonna do both cans at the same time and just a double press. So it's just extra arm work. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go again with that beginning leg. Forward, 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 back, press. This just takes a little more balance and a little more core stabilization. And just find one spot to look at in front of you. It makes it a lot easier to balance and lean into that leg. If you look all over, odds are you're probably not going to be super balanced unless you're really good at these. All right, let's do 4 more. And see, I looked all over, was not balanced. All right, show it again from the side. Also the staggered one if you want. Another option for taking some weight still on one leg more than the other without taking the leg off. Also, if you have any injuries where you don't want to put too much pressure on the ankle, that's a good way to do an alternative. Okay, let's do 1 more and then we're gonna switch. Also, sorry we don't have music today. My tablet is not functioning for some reason on Spotify. So we're just gonna listen with each other. If you have music at home, put it on. All right, 3, 2, 1, other leg. Back up, here. Also, if you want to get better at these without putting all the weight on the ankle and the other way is too easy, you can do these assisted by holding on to something in front of you. Okay, ready? Let's do 4 more. Keep that core super tight. That's what's helping you stay super balanced and keeping the weight off the back as well. Good. And let's do 1 more. Make sure we're getting 8 in on each side. How's it feeling? Is it feeling easy? How is the balance feeling for everyone? Do you feel yourself pulling from your core or from your back or your ankle? We're gonna do 1 more set of those. Don't need too many balance workouts, but 3 sets of stiff leg deadlifts is a really good option. Also because most of us don't have heavy weights at home, doing regular stiff leg deadlifts with really light weights not gonna challenge us that much. So adding Offset workouts or just unilateral workouts where we're only going onto one side are really good ways to make your workouts harder at home without having to find crazy heavy weights. I feel it mostly on my back. Okay, so if you're feeling it on your back, that means two things could be happening. One, you're leaning too far forward and not sitting enough into your leg. So you want to make sure shoulders are staying back when I'm leaning forward and my back is staying straight. If you're coming like this, that's when you're going to feel it in your back. You can also be not sitting enough into your heel. So you want to be sitting into your heels for this movement and pushing up through your heels rather than your toes. So same thing, it helps me hinge forward when I'm sitting into my heel. More of my weight is going onto my leg. If I'm into my toes, I can feel my back starting to pull because I'm leaning forward. Does that make sense? I feel it in my ankles going down, my glutes going up. Okay, cool, that works. If you feel it in your glutes and your ankles, that's totally fine. You should feel it a little bit in your core, so tense a little bit harder, but you should be mostly feeling it in your legs. It's only bad if you start to feel it from your back. When I focus hard on one spot, I have to concentrate a lot more on balance, so I feel it in my core. That's good, yeah. So you want it to feel like a balance exercise, but at the same time hit your glutes and your ankles. It's really working your hamstrings, but most of the time that just feels like a stretch versus an actual workout. You're not going to feel the same kind of tiredness that you would feel, let's say, like doing a squat. And also we just did squats, so your glutes are probably tired. So if you're starting to feel in your ankle, do 1 or 2 assisted, just with the foot down, just so you can really feel putting more of your weight into your heel. So when my foot is bending, my knee is staying soft, but I'm not letting it bend. I'm just sitting into it. So I'll show you even with both legs. Here, sitting into it. So this isn't bending forward at all, it's just staying light, so that way all my weight's going through my hamstring into my ankle. So try it like that if you feel it in your back once, and then when you feel that kind of motion, you can apply it to the leg up. All right, ready? Let's go for one more set. Keep all of that in mind. So shoulders back, chest up the whole time, and think about sitting into your ankle and your heel versus your toe. Okay, 3, 2, 1, forward. Chest up, core tight. Really squeeze in right here. Belly button right to spine. It's gonna help protect the lower back. One of the most important parts about building core is just protecting your lower back. We often pull from our lower back just in regular movements or when we're leaning down to use our lower back, which we never want to do in a bad way. We never want to pull it. And core is the only thing that will really protect that. You can build lower back muscles, but there's very few exercises that just target that. And also, most of the time if you feel it, that's probably because you're using it wrong and not because you actually want to be using it. And let me know, let me go right back up. Yeah, you felt it on your back. Let me know how it feels now, if it feels any better. Also, if you think that the both legs down feels good but too easy, just do it assisted, like holding on to something like this table and still going down, but focus on keeping all the weight on your leg and keeping your back straight. So it's also good to do these sometimes in front of a mirror, or even like bring your phone out and like watch yourself on the screen, because the form is the most important on these. Even with regular stiff leg deadlifts, half the time people are pulling from their backs. The amount of times, like, that's the number one thing I have to correct with clients. It's just keeping that back straight, leaning forward, and going down. I think we're already on the other leg, so let's just finish with 8 on that side. 3, 2, 1, and press. If you feel like the press adds too much movement to this, and that's why you're not able to balance, then just stick to the stiff leg deadlift. Focus on one movement at a time. If full body movements ever feel too complicated, just break it down. So you can always just do this part and then later do the press. Okay, let's do 2 more. Feel much better, thanks, great. All right, let's do 1 more. Good, all right. So next we're gonna do another full body movement. I'm just gonna close my blinds real fast because I feel like the sun is definitely going to block some of the important things we should be doing. All right, so we're gonna go for a press up to mountain climber today. Really good full body movement. So, staying on the floor. Press ups, you have options. You can do it on knees, or you can do it on feet. But we're gonna be working on tricep press ups. They're the best ones to work on. Also gonna make sure that we're in a good plank position anyway by being at the top of that. So what tricep press ups are, push-ups, also a good term for it, are basically when you're keeping those elbows in as you're pushing up. So we're not gonna have elbows out, we're not gonna have wide stance hands. They're harder, but they're better for full body movement and engagement. And it engages the core a lot because we're not allowing our back to sink in. If you feel that happening, switch back to knees. All right, so what we're gonna do, let me just move the bench a little bit so you can see my whole body. So we're gonna do a press up like this, press up, and then mountain climber. So we're gonna do 10 in total. Leg up, leg up. Got it? All right, let's start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Press up, mountain climber. If you want to do it on knees, do press up, onto feet, mountain climber. Mountain climber. Good. I'm gonna do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good. All right, any questions about that one? The nice thing about push-ups, so many variations you can do. Really great workout to do at home that you can just do with your own body weight, but continue to make them harder by doing all these variations. So you don't have to worry about, I don't have heavy weights with me. It's still you're gonna feel your push-ups no matter what. And you can always superset them, which we did on the first set with the squats. Supersetting is one of the best ways to make your home workouts harder, as I said before, without having heavier weights. Just pushes your body while it's still tired. All right. And also, should be feeling your core a bit on this from the beginning, but especially as we get further into the sets and your core starts warming up and getting ready for being used, especially on the mountain climbers. You want to squeeze that core as soon as you push up with that knee on the mountain climber. But keep it tight the whole time you're doing the push-up. And also, breathing is one of the most important things I always try and teach people. When you push up on a push-up, breathe out. And on each mountain climber. What do you advise someone who doesn't know how to do proper push-ups? So, that's totally fine. Proper push-ups are hard work and they take a lot of time to get going, but you can do a million variations. So, if you feel like it's really hard to do one on your feet, or you feel like the form is not going right, go with your knees. So keep the knees down, keep a straight line here, and then just focus on keeping core tight and pulled upward, so that way you don't have this sinking thing happen. And then just lean forward, focus on bringing your chest to the ground, go as low as you can. So it's fine if you don't feel like your chest is going down as much as you think it should. Focus on going as low as you can go while still being able to push back up. And then work it up, so add more reps of that, slowly get lower, and then build up to bringing your feet out. And if that still feels too hard, the first variation for push-ups are this tabletop position and then down. So your butt's more up in the air, but you're not allowing that back to sink in. It's still staying straight, but more of the weight is on your chest. So all of those variations work for this exercise too. Do whatever you need to do, knees, tabletop position, whatever is best, and then in between the rep, up on the feet for the mountain climbers. All right, ready? Let's go for the second set. 3, 2, 1, and go. Push up. And mountain climber. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more. Good. How's that feeling? And also if you feel like, because we're holding it in a plank position for the mountain climber, it's too hard, you feel like it's too exhausting, or you feel like you're losing your form, do as many as you can, like on your feet or on your knees, whatever the hardest variation you can do is, and then you can always take it back down to knees for like the last 2 or 3. As long as you're keeping form, that's the most important. All right, let's go for one more set. Grab water if you need to. We're gonna go in 5 seconds. How's everyone's push-ups feeling? Are we feeling it in our core? All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. One more set. So remember, elbows in, core really tight. Focus on not letting the back sink in. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more. Remember to breathe. 2 more. 1 more. Good. All right, how'd that feel? Take some water, because we're gonna do a superset next. So we wanna give everything a little chance to rest. Next thing is gonna be a little more leg focus, so arms get a little break. And we're gonna make sure we focus on at least hitting a lot of the big major areas of the body. And breathe. Yeah, I mean, the amount of times, whether that be in a regular exercise like this or on the wall, that we say that and we don't do it. It's really often common for me to see clients or students in my class. Everyone does it. I do it all the time. When you're doing a really hard movement or heavy weight, you tend to just hold your breath in really tight to get through it and just kind of like grin and bear it till it happens. But the odds are you're not going to be able to do either as explosive or controlled of a movement or as heavy of a weight if you're holding your breath in. The breath controls your body, controls your heart rate, and also allows you to give that extra push when something's hard. When you release breath, you're releasing all that tension. So if you're doing, definitely not breathing enough. I do it all the time. I feel like I've been doing it more when I'm home doing home workouts, if anything, just because like your body is being thrown into a very different type of training. I'm someone who doesn't really typically do too much cardio outside. I usually just do my runs on the treadmill and that's it. And having to run outside, it's very different. And like having to regulate your breath is like very different just because you're on a lot of different terrain. You're not just on a treadmill. So I was like caught myself the other day while I was running, just like doing really fast short breaths and not really regulating whatsoever, just trying to like get it in really fast and not doing a nice inhale and then exhale. And it's hard when you're working out or doing something hard. It's also really hard when you're on the climbing wall because you're thinking about 4 different other things. And the last thing you're thinking about is like, oh yeah, I also have to breathe during this. But every time you do think about it, it does help. All right, so now we're finally going to bring our chair into the workout. So I'm going to bring my bench in over here. And you don't need a bench, not necessary whatsoever. I just use it because it's really easy for me to pull in for this workout and also so you guys can see everything. So there's no like head of the chair in the way. So just going to keep it around over there because we're going to do 2 things at the same time. So we're going to superset again. So first thing we're going to superset is a step up into a squat. So step ups are really good movements. Hold on, I'm also going to close this blind. I think it's turned into a very beautiful sunny day, but when I was setting this up, it was still really dreary and rainy. So I thought that we wouldn't have a sun issue, but apparently we do. All right. So we're going to be stepping up onto our chair or bench. So step, step, stay in the squat, back down. So we're going to go for 10 of those. Make sure we're staying low. So do first 5 with one leg up and then the other 5 with the other leg up. So I'm going to start on my right for the first 5 and then my left for the second 5. And then, let me show you the second workout. The storm was so nice. I know, it felt really cozy to be inside for once instead of like, oh no, I'm inside all day, I need to get out. I felt kind of content to actually be inside. So we're going to be doing reverse plank knees. So we're going to be driving up with our knees and being on our hands in our plank. So going to be on our heels. Bring that core upward and squeeze the knees up. If it feels really hard to do that, you can do them just like in crab position and up. So we're going to do 10 of those on each side too. So squats into the workout. All right, ready? So first, step up into squat, and then we're going to sit onto the hands for the reverse plank knee ups. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Step, stay nice and light. 2, keep core really tight. 3, 4, 5, switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're at the bottom of your squat up there. You're not hovering up like this. One more. Good. All right, and then into the reverse plank knee ups. So hands facing towards your feet. Lift up with the core and squeeze up. Keep head and chin up and facing forward. Keep core tight and engaged up and squeeze up through the glutes as well. 4 more on each side. You should feel it through your core. 2 more. 1 more. Good. And rest. So on the reverse plank sliders, where your feet are up, do you feel it in your core or do you feel it in your back? If you feel it in your back, I want you to first do the crab versions, just so you can really practice on keeping that core engaged upwards, and then slowly work your feet down. And if you want to make the step up to squats harder, just add weight. So you can add your cans. Best way to make it harder and challenging is keeping the weight up here, not on your sides. Also, probably get on your way on the sides just because you're staying low. Any tips for getting my heels to stay put? They keep sliding. So focus on the upward squeeze through your glutes. If you're on a mat, just add like something extra under you, another bit of texture like a towel or something. But if you feel like it's not flipping because of the surface, it's just moving up and down, it's because you're not engaging upward enough to keep that momentum. But even if you feel like it's not staying put, just keep a slight bend in the knee. It'll just put more pressure on the feet. Def core, but also lower back towards the end. Is that normal? If you're feeling it in lower back, it's probably because you're getting tired. So if you felt it in your core in the beginning, you're just not engaging your core at the end, which is why you're feeling it down there. So you need to make sure the whole time you're squeezing up with your glutes and in with your core. If you start to feel tired at the end and you start to feel it switch to your lower back, change into that crab position. Walk the feet in a little bit so it's just your core. All right. Also, with these, you're not necessarily in a really dangerous position for your lower back. It's not like you're pulling from it or lifting with it, but we want to protect it at all costs. It's kind of very similar to when you end up using your lower back on a core exercise, like anything with a downward engagement. And we really want to try and advise against that also, especially because we don't want to be doing that like on the wall when we're supposed to be pulling with something. We don't want to pull with our lower back. We want to pull with our core. It's good practice to start really pulling that core in as you do these big movements. So this is a really good one because it's a full body engagement move. So we'll feel it out in the next set, see if it feels any better. If not, I'm going to give you another variation. All right, let's go back into that squat step. So 10 of these, 5 up with one leg, 5 up with the other. If you want to make it harder, add your weights. 3, 2, 1, go. Stay nice and low in your squat. Breathe on the way up. So breathe out. One more on this side and then switch sides. Keep hands up here, chest up. Switch sides. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Back into those reverse plank knee-ups. Hands on the ground. If you're feeling your back, remember, engage the glutes and core up. But if you need to, switch to the crab version. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 1 more. Good. Did that feel any better this time? And also grab some water between your set, especially superset. And this superset is not necessarily working the same muscles. So if you want to push a specific muscle group, superset the same type of muscle group in your workouts. But if you want to just push your overall body, you can superset like this, which is where we're working our core in one movement / total engagement on the body, but also our legs on the step ups. Starting to feel core, but more so in my legs. That's fine. We're doing step ups, squats, even on exercises where you're probably not normally going to feel it in your legs like this. If you do something immediately before it where our quads are getting fired up, they're going to be working even if they don't want to on this exercise just because they're tired. So that's good. Starting to feel core is perfect and totally okay if you feel a little bit in your legs. All right, so let's do one more set. And another way to also make the step ups challenging is to start in a kneeling position. So kneel to a squat, do a step up squat. I'll show you an example just so you guys have ways of making it harder and progressing for yourself at home. So we would start like this, into a squat, into a step up squat. Just another variation. But don't need to do that today because we're supersetting. I would recommend that on not a superset. All right, ready? Last set of these, 3, 2, 1. Chest up, core tight. Should really be able to engage our core right now because it's been used quite a lot already, so it's really warm and ready to go. Good. One more on this side. And switch. 1, 2, 3 more. 1 more. Good. All right, and now we're gonna do one more set of this reverse plank knee ups. All right, 3, 2, 1, and up. Breathe out on every knee up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 1 more. Good. All right, so gonna go back into arms next. Was that last set better for everyone? Other than probably feeling it more in our legs, did we feel it too much in our back at all? All right, so next set, it's gonna be one of my favorite exercises for climbers. Good to do it with light-ish weights because you wanna make it really controlled. You never wanna swing into it. So it's one of the best back exercises for climbers. It's eyes wise tees. We're gonna do them just bent over with cans, but you can do them with rings. You can do them bent over like a couch or a bench where your whole body is leaning out. But it doesn't matter as long as you're leaning forward so that way you're squeezing with your back. So what these look like, gonna do a set of all 3 in a row. You've got your eyes. So we're gonna bend forward, slight bend in the knees for stability, and straight back, make sure we're not curving in. So you've got your eyes forward, so they look like this, eyes. Then you've got your Ys, so they're out. And then you've got your Ts, which are completely out to the side. So eyes, Ys, Ts. We're gonna do 8 I's, 8 Y's, and then 8 T's in a row. All right, so grab your cans. This is something you don't wanna do with too heavy weight. As I said before, you don't wanna see this, so you don't wanna end up like swinging up into it. You don't wanna use your back on your lower back. You wanna use only your upper back to squeeze. All right, and shoulders down the whole time. So, lean forward, keep this nice and straight, and go forward first for those Y's. So 1, gonna go for 8, 2, bring that nice straight line, 3, 4, 5, breathe out on the way up, 6, 7, 8, and switch to the Y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow on the way down, 5, 6, keep that core tight, 7, 8, and onto the T's. 1, 2, 3, breathe out, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How'd that feel? Also, important to note, you want to typically keep a slightly bent arm on almost every movement. You never really want to lock out with your legs or your arms completely. So even with the Y's and the I's, if they're not like, even though they're not as obviously out to the side, I'm still keeping a slight bend. So this is what it looks like from the side, just a slight bend, slight bend. It's just very important for our joints not to constantly lock them out, especially in hard movements. Is that feeling, we're feeling it nice and up here in our upper back and delts? So these are really great movements to do at home. They're one of the best exercises that I suggest adding to your routine anyway as climbers. But you can constantly make them harder. So you can add more reps, and you can also up your weight. So you feel it no matter what. Like I feel it with these cans. You feel it with 5-pound dumbbells, 10-pound dumbbells. Let's see. 1 shoulder bicep pops on the I's, Y's, T's. By pops, do you mean like it clicks, like cracks, or do you mean like it feels really tight? If you feel like it's popping a lot, it's probably because it's not really controlled. So you want to make sure your shoulders are back and you're going really slow with it. Just slow down the movement if you feel like it's because you're going really explosive. Cracks, yeah. So that's kind of okay. I think no matter what, as climbers, we typically have really tight shoulders. And I tend to crack almost every time I do a big movement, especially the first time I do a big movement. After like the first set, my body warms up, and that area, if I didn't warm it up well enough before, warms up. But the best way to kind of stop that happening is just to work on your shoulder mobility a little bit more and do a lot more shoulder stretches at home before and after workouts. But other than that, I would just say let's probably go a little slower with it. So make sure the shoulders are staying back and we're just moving really controlled. All right, so let's do one more set. 3, 2, 1. Keep it controlled. And hold the cans nice and tight, but not so much so that you're working your forearms. Good. 5, 6, 7, 8. And into the Y's. Let's keep it nice and controlled. Especially if it's our first time ever doing this, don't make them too fast. And typically with almost every exercise, you only want to go fast one way, slow the other way. So with these, you can go a little bit explosive on the way up, but you really want to go pretty slow on the way down. And let's go for those T's. 1, 2, breathe out, 3, squeeze with that back on the T's. Really feel those shoulders squeezing together, shoulder blades. Good. One more. Good. All right. Does that feel better this time, Nikki? But yeah, it's a common thing, even with if you have like the teeniest bit of just overworking happening in your shoulders, you can probably feel it a lot on shoulder heavy exercises. When I had tendonitis in my shoulder, every time I did lat raises, the first set felt like super tight, super clicky, felt every crack happening in my shoulder. But after I warmed up on that first set, the second set felt fine. All right. I think I need to work on that shoulder mobility. It's a thing that we neglect so often as climbers. I know I do it sometimes. The thing that really got me to stop doing it was just me having a shoulder injury, so I was forced to. So does the strength come from the shoulder blades, middle of the back, more than the shoulders? Exactly. So you should feel that squeeze happening through your delts and your upper back. So here, kind of like, so bring your thumb or hand to the middle of your back and feel that shoulder blade squeeze. It's going to be a little less obvious on the I's and the Y's because those are still working through your shoulders, but you should still think about engaging your delts. Back of my neck also hurts. Is it normal or is it my herniated neck? If you have a herniated neck, it can totally be that, but also where's your head looking when you're doing it? You want to keep it pretty neutrally engaged. So when I'm here, I just want to keep looking somewhat down and forward. I don't want to pull it up and I don't want to pull it in. I want to keep that neck and spine pretty neutral. Other than that, these might be easier to do slightly like leaning over something, so like this, so maybe a little bit less of a bend. So that's the variation you can do to pull a little bit less in terms of like leaning too much. It could just be that, or it could just be the way you're looking. So just focus on keeping your neck as neutral as possible. So pretty much looking like down and diagonal from where your head is. All right, let's go for the last set. Think about engaging your shoulders back, down, and squeezing through your delts on every rep. So on the eyes, you're feeling it through your shoulders, but think about your back. Think about your upper back squeezing. These are really weird muscle groups to start thinking about engaging. They take a lot of time to learn how to physically engage, but the movements will still work those areas. But with time, you want to start thinking about where you're working so you learn how to engage. Because when we do smaller movements or when we start connecting it to what we're doing on the wall, we want to learn why and how those muscles are working. All right, let's go into those Y's. And then those T's out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Yeah, you want to feel it pretty much all on your shoulders and your back, upper back. You can feel it in your core in terms of engagement. I know I do, especially with bent over ones. When I'm typically like just leaning over something, I feel it less, but you can do it in any position you want. But these are really good exercises to throw in. All right, so last thing we're going to do is we're going to end on a little core workout. I like to always do a little core set, basically 3 core workouts in a row, and then repeat it 3 times. Sometimes I'll add more to my own home workout routines. I'll do like 7 in a row. That's like a heavy core day. Don't do that every day. But it's just good for climbers to keep that core going over a longer period of time, just to work on constant core engagement and endurance, not just one set. So what we're going to be doing today is actually a really good movement to start learning that core downward engagement. The reason why we kept feeling our lower back in places was possibly because we weren't engaging our core downward. So just a way to feel it, if you've never done it before, press your hands into your knees and knees into your hands. You feel your core force itself to engage downwards. So that's what you should be feeling on any exercise where you're laying on your back and using your core, but specifically on any lower core exercises like the one we're about to do. So think about the engagement. We're going to do leg raises. So just down and up. So you can have your hands here. The further out they are, the harder it is. But the most important thing is that you don't want your back to be raising itself off the floor. So you don't want an arch to start forming. You want to keep that downward engagement that we just felt the whole time. So whether that be your arms are here or here, it doesn't matter, as long as you're comfortably keeping your core downward and not allowing that back to come up. So we're going to go for 15. Ready? 1, 2, good, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep it controlled, 9, 10, 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, keep your head neutral, 1 more, good. And then we're gonna go right. Does the leg thing need to be perfectly straight? No. We just did a lot of leg workouts, so typically after that, my legs are never perfectly straight, but as long as they're not completely bent, that's what matters because you wanna still have that same hinge. All right, so next we're gonna do a V-sit hold. So legs up like this. Again, we did legs today. I did legs before this. My legs are not gonna be straight, but we wanna be holding it up like this. And we're gonna flutter for 15. So 1, 2, get into that position. 3, 4, squeeze your core. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're gonna go into bicycles. So just bringing opposite hand to opposite knee and switching. Making sure that other leg is pretty much completely straightening, so that way it engages both the upper and the lower core. All right, 15 of these, 2, ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Breathe out on every rep, so 2, 3, breathe out, breathe out. Good, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Good. And rest. I'm gonna do 2 more sets. How's that feeling? Is there any questions in terms of what your back is doing on any of the workouts? Because that came up a lot today, so I think it's really important to make sure that we're not feeling it where we're not supposed to. I'm doing leg raises in general. Had to run really early to do the 7 p.m. claps for Clover. No problem. Everyone please clap for your healthcare workers. If you want to do it right now during the workout, totally fine. Leg lifts, my back pulls up a bit. Okay, so if your back is pulling up, for now, keep the hands under the butt / upper glute. It's gonna like kind of be between basically your back and your glute. Just like this, it's gonna just basically fill in that space so you can start working on building up that muscle, and then eventually you can work your hands out. But thanks, Anthea, for coming, and I'll see you possibly on Thursday's workout. All right, so let's go again. If you feel like your back's lifting up, think about pulling your core down, but you can put your hands under your back for now, and then slowly, the more you do these, the more you can work out your hands. In the beginning, it's really hard. Downward engagement for core is one of the hardest engagements to learn. It's really easy for you to be able to just pull your stomach into your spine, but when you're laying down, it feels really hard to then do that so much so that it pulls your back down. But these are really good exercises of the hands to knees to also help do that. All right, so let's go for another set. 3, 2, 1, down. So yeah, if you need to, hands can be down here for help. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more. Good. 2 more. 1 more. Good. All right, right into those V-sets. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And bicycles. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Good. All right, take a second. We're gonna do one more set. Daniel, did your back feel better bringing the hands under it this time? Also, the nice thing about leg raises is there's a lot of progressions you can do. So after you feel like it's getting really easy with your hands out, eventually, if you have a pull-up bar, if not, when we get back into working at the gym, you can do them hanging. Yes, good. All right, yeah, so that's the best way to start working them up. So keeping the hands under and then eventually slowly work them out. You know, like don't bring them from here to like here, just bring them slightly out to your sides and then eventually it'll get better. Most important thing is that muscle is getting stronger. All right, so let's do one more set. Last set of the leg raises, the V-sit holds, and the bicycles. Let's give it all we've got. 3, 2, 1. Keep that core nice and tight the whole time and breathe through it. 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, last 5. 2 more. Good, right into those V-sit holds. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's do last set of those bicycles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nice job. So that is everything for today.